Hey guys, Chris with RonBootsFarm, and today we're framing walls in the barn. Alright guys, like I said, we're getting ready to frame walls here in the barn along the back. This is the west wall, or the back of our property. Got it spray foamed, getting ready to put the walls up. We already swept everything, cleaned it back so we could pop our lines and lay our wall out. So just the basics, so everybody kind of know what we're doing. You can probably see that red line. That's where the outside of our wall will be once we stand it up. And basically we got that line is you can see how some of this is buggered up here from the concrete, from the original concrete pier that was there. And so to keep from having to chip that off with a hammer drill or something, we just moved out far enough to where our wall plate would miss that when it stood up. And so we found the furthest part out, which I think was right there. Figured out we needed to be about 2 to 2.5 inches out. I think we went with 2 inches, I can't remember now. But then we just did that, added on our 3.5 inches of our plate, which will be this 2x4 once it's turned flatways, and came up with the measurement out from this wall. So we measured down on that corner out, once in the middle, down here at the end, and then used our chalk line to pop that line for the wall. So we did that. Then we marked off, you can see our marks here, every 16 inches for our wall studs. Already got those marked out. We did have to notch, this will be the top plate, but this column will actually, because it angles out from the wall, it'll actually be in our wall a little bit at the top. And so we had to notch that plate out so that it'll miss, but that won't be no big deal. And again, we got it all marked off all the way down for this wall. So now I'm about to start bringing in our studs and laying them out on each one of those marks. Got a whole bundle of studs out there. We only needed 100 to 120, give or take, for what we plan on doing this weekend. There's 294 studs in a bundle, and to keep from having to pick through them all there at the store and load them, we just said load the whole bundle because we'll need them eventually for the rest of our walls. And plus there's going to be probably quite a bit of crooked ones in there. I'll go through them and look for the straight ones, cull them out, cull the crooked ones out as I go, and then if there's too many crooked ones, we'll take them back. And then whatever's left, we'll bundle back up, and I'll strap them together with some ratchet straps to wait until we get ready to do those other walls so that they don't end up twisting and going crooked, because they will do that. So I'm about to lay those out, and I'm also going to build our corner and our T. If you don't know what that is, a corner is basically two studs. So here's a pink one. This is just a different brand of the ones that are on the trailer. But this is basically just a regular stud, a 92 5/8 stud. A corner is one of these with a couple of blocks in the middle and another one on the outside. Basically just makes a real wide, what we call a corner. And it basically goes on any corner of your walls where they meet, you put that there so when your other wall comes in, that gives you a nailer on both sides for your, we're doing plywood, but if you were doing drywall or whatever, it gives you a nailer on both sides for that to catch. Your T, and we have a T going in right here. You can see we've marked it on our layout. That's what that T stands for there. The letter T stands for a T, and basically it's 2 studs. And I will show you that, but it's basically to take a stud, turn it up on its end, and you with a block flatways, and then another one. And when you raise that, you put that in the wall, that flat block is out, and then the wall that's coming in this way, well, that gives you something to nail that wall into. So I will show you those after I build them and lay this out, and then we will nail the wall together and get it raised. So we'll do that now. All right, guys, there's the T I was talking about earlier. Of course, it's laid down this way, so when the wall is raised, you can think about it, the wall will raise up this way. Those blocks will be on the outside, and then our wall, cross wall that's coming in this way will tie into that. Down here is our corner. As you can see, it's the blocks. Like I said, that just pushes it out. When you put that in there, it gives you room once your other wall meets it at the corner, that you have a nailer on each side for your whatever sheathing you're putting on there, whether that's plywood, sheetrock, or whatever. So I built that, got that in there, got the wall laid out, getting it nailed together, and then we'll raise it up. All right, guys, it's the following morning from the video you just saw. Yesterday we had gotten this wall stood up, and of course it will go all the way down eventually, but we can just raise what we can for now because there's so much junk, I guess you could say. I would say good junk, but stuff that we had to move down there to get it out of the way, raise these walls, and some of that will come back down here. So we got this one raised. I didn't get any video of nailing it down, but of course we put a bead of a liquid nail down under this, set it on top, got it on our chalk line that I talked about earlier, and then nailed it down with what a lot of people refer to as a Hilti gun. This is actually not a Hilti brand that I have, it's a Duo Fast, and maybe I'll do a separate video of one of these, but basically this takes a blank 22 shot, 22 caliber shot, basically a blank bullet casing, and a nail with this washer. Nail it down in there, put the shot inside the tool, set it on top, hit it with a hammer, and it drives the nail down into the concrete to attach the wall. So we did that all the way down. We have this wall laid out. We got that done yesterday as well. You can see the stud marks there. So I just started laying the studs out for this. I will lay the rest of them out, and then we'll nail that wall up, get it stood up. Then we will do our outside wall or inside wall, depending on how you want to refer to it, that will go along here. We'll have to move some of this. We'll run that wall down as far as we can with all, again, the junk in the way, and then we'll have our cross wall right almost in line with this beam, just this side of the beam that will come down through here and tie back into our T that I talked about earlier. So we're gonna start on that now. Alright guys, this is where I'm going to end this one at. We got our walls framed up, braced, and everything ready to, we're going to do a little bit more spray foaming. I'll walk over there and show you where in a minute, and then we'll be ready to put our ceiling joist up. So, so got everything framed up, got our door headers in, got everything braced off. You can see the braces there that's holding everything level. and straight until we get our joist on to hold it all together. So you can see, like, this brace here going down, that's holding this wall in and out straight. And again, that one going up there, doing the same thing for that wall. So over here, what we're about to do now is spray foam. Again, if you remember, I got 2 layers of foam, rigid foam board, and then the spray foam, and then there's this wall cavity. And you can see, you know, it's like a 18-inch cavity here due to the way the concrete is and the way we built our walls. So air is a good insulator, so I want to seal that space off to add some more insulation. So what we did is we ran some foam board. That's not the ceiling. I know it kind of looks like that way on the camera. That's actually a piece of foam board running from this purlin over to the top of the wall. All right, guys, somehow I turned my video off, but again, that piece of foam is running from the purlin over to the top of the wall, and now we're going to spray foam around the purlin and the edges on both sides, and that will effectively seal off that wall space again. So we have the 2 layers of rigid foam board, the spray foam, the airspace, and then in the wall itself here will be fiberglass insulation R13 in the wall. So I think that will do really well. So we're about to do that spray insulation now. I may show a little bit of that in this video of the walls, and then we will do the ceiling joist. One thing I did want to show as well, along with bracing it, the one way we are going to hold this off is, or hold this straight, as you can see that we have these blocks and these brackets where the walls are screwed into the side of the purlins in the barn. So we sided down to make sure the walls were straight, moved them in and out as we needed, and then put those blocks on there, and then screwed those in with self-tapping screws into the purlin. So we did that all the way around every 4 to 6 feet. You can see the blocks. So that's helping hold the outside wall straight, and then of course we have our braces, as I talked about, on our interior walls. We also have our beam jacks in, so there will be 3 2x12s going across there to make that beam. I'll talk about that in the next video, but we went ahead and got the jacks in there underneath it that will help carry the weight on each side of the beam down through the wall. So that's where we're at now. As always, thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and we'll cut this one off.